We're on. Okay. Last month we did sandwiches. Turn up the volume. Last month, Brian and I, that's Brian over here. I'm George. We made an Odyssey to sandwich shops. And this month, we were going to do a different food item, but we decided instead, because of the tragic situation happening in Ukraine, that we should take a look at what's going on in the Russian communities and Ukrainian community in New York City. It's not a perfect view. We didn't go millions of times. There's other places where you could find Ukrainians and Russians, but we're just going to talk about what we did see. This is the Ukrainian flag.
This is the flag with the emblem.
If you would like a Ukrainian flag, just send me an email, okay? George@redhookstar.com, and I'll send you one. We have quite a few here, okay? Because I think it's important to show support. New York City needs to do more to show that we stand with the people that are getting, the shit kicked out of them by Russian military bombs and things like that. We wouldn't like that. It strikes home because we have buildings here, we have lives here, we have all the collections of our lifetime, and in 1 second it gets bombed up. Come on, give me a break. You can't like Russia after this. Anyway, that's my own personal opinion, okay? And I'm in charge here, right, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Although I'm very open to listen to ideas.
Yeah, always.
So anyway, so the way we do these little things here, it's not perfect, but see, I have another screen on over here, which shows all the photographs, which unfortunately you can't see, but you can if you read this article in the paper. You'll see some of the photos, and maybe I'll post some together with this. But this it reminds us where we went, because we have to be reminded, because every day is a new day. So last week we decided to start this Odyssey in Brighton Beach, and I have to say that the most imaginative thing that I've seen in a long time was that dentist. Do you remember that dentist? It said,
yeah.
"Brighten your smile."
Yeah. That was one of the first things we saw.
So anyway, we did, let's see, here we have a picture. We're looking at this picture of the first thing. We look for Ukrainian flags. And this was a church. Oops. The Guardian Angel Roman Catholic Church had a flag. This was it on Ocean Avenue?
Or Ocean Parkway?
Whatever road that goes down there, off the belt. Here it is, Brighten Your Smile. Very cool. Dr. Medvedovsky. Okay, then we saw flyers in Brighton Beach under the subway for a peace march that had happened the weekend before. We saw some people had flags in the windows.
A lot of Ukrainian flags on the windows or on the street corners.
But not a lot, A. And B, we couldn't really get people to talk to us about it, but we will get to one time the Mr. Softy guy is the...
Yeah.
But here, first we went, because I'm always hungry, I guess, especially for interesting foods. And we stopped by this, a deli that ended up having a restaurant in the back. And here's what Brian had. We shared.
Good food.
Yeah. How can I show this on the screen? I took a picture of this. Let's see. I took a picture of this. And then I put it over here. Whoops. See, oh, there we go. You could see that we had a plate of food that we took to the back of this little deli. And it was actually not such a cold day. And we had a very nice picnic. And one of the things was a chicken hamburger. I had an aunt who was from that part of the world, used to make that. She would actually take chicken meat, and put it in a meat grinder, just like you make hamburgers.
And it was a chicken burger.
Yeah. And we had kasha, and we had vegetables, and another kind of meat that I forget. Let's see. And I asked for some kind of sauce to go on it, and they gave us like a little serving dish. Nobody uses serving dishes anymore. They use little plastic things with ketchup in it, but this was like a little silver dish with some kind of red sauce in it. And the one thing that, remember, we had trouble figuring out how to use words for what any of this stuff tasted like.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too, and a little trouble communicating since they didn't really speak English at all.
The woman didn't really. That's true. We heard a lot of Russian and not much English, and this was in Brighton Beach.
And they didn't want to talk about the
Right.
war at all.
There's a picture of the woman, and then they had an indoor dining, which is very nice. Okay, this is my favorite picture. There was a clothing store. Why don't you describe it?
It was a clothing store, and in the window all the mannequins were dressed in the colors of the Ukrainian flag.
Yes. And then what happened when we went inside?
So we asked the lady about it, and she said that yes, she sends support, but she didn't really want to talk about it. She didn't want to go into any details, and she just seemed very nervous talking about the war in Ukraine.
And I told her, I said, listen, we're not KGB.
Yeah.
We're just...
Yeah.
But not too many people outside of this neighborhood kind of know about the Red Oak Star Review. So
That's true.
anyway, although I will say this, that when I was thinking about making a name for this paper, in those days I was more of a communist than I am now. And I kind of put Star in there for a couple of reasons. One of them was because the place where we started the paper used to be called the Star Theater. But then I think Russia, they think of Russia as the Red Star.
Yeah.
Somehow it had a Russian idea, and so like I figured Red Oak Star sounds kind of cool. Maybe not now. I'll never you know what? I'm never going to be a communist again, not after this.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go. Not even, I hope you don't get offended, any of you out there, but not even a democratic socialist, okay? I guess I'm turned into an American, not because America is so great, but what they always say, there's a lot of flaws in this country, but it's still one of the better ones. You know, we may not be nice to Mexicans, depending on who the president is, but at least we don't bomb them.
Yeah. And I take the U.S. over anything else right now.
Well, what about Bermuda?
I've never been.
Okay. Anyway, so we went to the woman's store and let's see. Then found a picture of, it was a big giant American flag, not an American flag, a Ukrainian flag, whipping around in the wind. Here, I'll take a picture of this because this is a great picture. It kind of looks like Brian might actually be one of those Ukrainian stars on the Rangers. Here. Let's see, can we see this?
I thought they had a pretty good amount of flags up in like public places, but not that many in the private stores. Which is why the fashion place was pretty cool.
You really would not exactly know that there was any kind of a thing going on.
Yeah.
Except for a few places. Okay, let's see. What else did we do then? I took a picture of a sign called Vladimir's Hair Salon. If anybody...
It looked like an old school barber shop.
Yes. Let's see. Then we took a walk over to the water. And we saw more posters of the sign. And
a lot of people were sitting outside, but they didn't really want to talk to us about it.
No. And you know what? I remember I once went to Brighton Beach in the 90s with this girlfriend that, you know, she liked all kinds of different cuisines. I said, let's go to Brighton. It's like I've been to Brighton Beach a bunch of times because when you sit in a restaurant on the beach, without eating anything, even before you order, I think they used to bring a little plate of sardines, salted fish, maybe they were anchovies, and it was a very pleasant type of a thing. And you kind of think that this is what it would be like to be at the Black Sea. Anyway, that's besides the point. We didn't do that. They were closed. It was cold, somewhat cold. And plus we have two years of the pandemic. Oh, hold on. We got to take a break. Yes.